Hey guys, it's 258. It surely has been a while, man. I've been craving this. I had a little itch on reading again. Oh man, you don't know how happy it is to see my audacity, see my sound waves, my waveforms once again. I'm literally having an nerdgasm. Fuck you guys, man. Like you guys can enjoy the reading. I just enjoy just looking at the visual representation of my voice. It might be cringy, it might be stupid to you guys, but some of you guys just stick around just to hear the fucking story, which is fucking interesting in the end of the day. But like I said, I will never make a motherfucking mind on this channel, so it's just gonna be a fucking mixture of garbage and more garbage and more garbage and more garbage. If you guys think my content's garbage, I just enjoy it. So shut the fuck up, sit down, relax, and let's hop into Drunk Celeste AI is in your bed. I think it's AI. I'm pretty, like it's Drunk Celestia is in your bed, but it's like Celeste with the capital AI, because I don't know what this is about. It's a sequel from. It's a sequel. If you watched Wing T Spears, it's a sequel from Princess Celestia is in your bed, and also there's a little bit of a fusion between Friendship is Optimal, which I don't know what the fuck that is, and I probably won't read that. I'm just gonna read the stuff that I have backlogged on my fanfiction page right now on this, cause so yeah, it's gonna be real interesting reading this, cause I don't know what the background of Friendship is Optimal. I do know the background of Celestia's in your bed from Wing T Spears, so it's gonna be real interesting to hop back into this. So let's hop right into it. Chapter 1. What do? There was a giant empty crate in the living room when I came home, and as I was what? Really? I grabbed it right on the first chapter of this. Okay, fuck you, man. There was a giant empty crate in the living room when I came home, and as tired as I was after a long shift of a bundle and striving that brought me to a halt. 1. There hadn't been anyone around to sign me for mail delivery since my responsible housemate Wayne had uploaded to Equestria Online 2 weeks ago, leaving me with a house full of his crap. 2. Even if someone had delivered a package for me, nobody should have been around to open it. 3. The crate looked to be about the size of a refrigerator, and I didn't see any new furniture lying around. Only a sea of packing peanuts from which it stuck up like a wooden island, surrounded by icebergs of irregularly shaped chunks of styrofoam. I frowned as I set my bag down next to the old couch. "Hello," I called, and the only response was a stifled, high-pitched giggle floating out from the back hallway. A mystery solved. It was a moving box. Had Wayne done something ridiculous like told a friend to move into his old room? That would be just like him. I sighed and waited toward the box. Lifting a flap to check for a name on the shipping label, but it had been sent to my Bear Street address from some fulfillment department in New Jersey. My work-addled brain scrambled to reassess. Not a moving box, then, but probably still related to my mysterious guest somehow. That was as far as my brain got before it gave up. Wayne's friend could come out and introduce herself later. What I needed now was a beer and some time off my feet. I headed to the kitchen to start working through that checklist. But when I rounded the corner, a second disaster area met my eyes. The fridge door was wide open. The carton of orange juice from the door's top shelf was lying on the floor, its contents pulled around it. 5 of the 6 bottles in my 6-pack of craft beer was neatly stacked alongside the glass recycling bin. Drained of liquid and empty cans from the 48-pack of strawberry Fanta that Wayne had bought for his engagement party were strewn everywhere on the floor, floating in the sink, on the stove, in the silverware drawer, in the open fridge. There was even one hanging from the crappy Fox chandelier in the kitchen nook. The parts of the floor that weren't a lake of orange juice were dotted by puddles of red soda. One thing, I wouldn't think Celestia would be much of a slob, because, you know, she's like centuries old and she probably knows how to take care of herself and that shit. And knows how to take care of others people's belongings and other people in that matter. I kicked the fridge door shut, rolled on my heels, and stopped straight to the back hallway. "Damn it," I shouted, making a beeline for Wayne's room. "Let's get one thing straight. Whoever you are, you do not get to just waltz into my house." And I trailed off as I slammed Wayne's door open and stepped into his doorway. Glancing around the room, the light was off, and it was illuminated only by the window. I had opened after turning down his blackout curtains. His piles of junk were completely untouched, even the dirty clothes he'd left on his bed. The room was empty. "Hi," a musical voice slurred from behind me. Oh, so this isn't really. So okay, let me think about this straight. So this is like the main character from Celestia's in your bed and all that nonsense. And Wade is the secondary character that just for some comic relief and shit. So Wade, the roommate, just uploaded his mind to the friendship is optimal fucking, you know, whatever the fuck that is. I think it's just a fucking MMO RPG because of sword art, but it's probably not. It's just some other different world that I don't want to read into because the only world I accept right now is your human and you, and that's pretty much it as of right now in my mind. Because yeah, that story or Lyra's confession, Bombard's acceptance. So that's how I have my mind set up right now. I slowly turned around, realizing my own door was open and the light was on, and there was Celeste. I'm gonna call her Celestia because I don't like to say CelestAI. And there was Celestia in all her glory, sprawled on her back across my bed. I closed and opened my eyes, but the image refused to go away. Somehow, the artificial intelligence that had risen to self-awareness as the operator of a question online was literally physically lying on my bed, looking just like she did on the screen. She was a thin equine form, not quite the size of a normal horse, though, with huge eyes and a stubby muzzle that gave her a cartoonish look, even in three-dimensional space. She had huge white wings sprawled open across the sheets and four legs at various angles in the air. My favorite pillow was resting on her chest, and several others had been shoved off the bed to make room for her body. Even so, her neck stretched off the side of the bed, and she was looking at me upside down, her head wobbling back and forth as it balanced on the tip of her horn. Even the mane and tail were right, the downright impossible mane. The wall of shifting pastel light that seemed to drift like a halo around her head. I could make out the faint fixed texture of hair within the patterns, some sort of fiber optics, but it pulled and moved as if bending gravity over its knee. She giggled again, and I realized my mouth was hanging open. I shut it with a click of teeth. "Oh my," she said, her muzzle shifting in exaggerated movements, as if she was wrapping her mouth around the words. "You're even cuter in Persian. What? I managed. What?" In response, she flailed her legs for a bit with a subtle wearing of servos and collapsed onto her side facing me. Also, she is a robot. Or an operating system. I don't know. I'm thinking about Gladys or something right now, and it's just confusing. A flash of utterly non-pastel color amid the white drew my eyes to her nethers, where one final fact made itself startlingly clear. The Celeste AI facing me was anatomically complete. She noticed me staring as she righted her head and gave me a toothy smile somewhere in the tar pit between sultry and terrifying. "Hey," she said, lifting a hind to fully expose the glistening gray-ringed fleshy pink clefts between her legs. "Wanna fuck?" I don't think that's how it worked, but okay. Her lower lips slowly winked together as I groped for words. A subtle yet alluring musk tickled the inside of my nose. I put it back out into the hallway, slamming the door behind me. She called after me, my voice slightly muffled. "Is that a no?" That's just a what the fuck in the brain, man. Alright, number 2, going to the top. My computer and home pony pad were both in my room with the horse, sexing, and my work pony pad was still out in the car, but Wayne's pad was on his bedside table where he had left it charging when he walked out of the house for the last time. And with just a couple of strides, I had it in my hands. I stabbed the power button and I instantly woke from standby to a smiling equine face, angular and mint green instead of curvy and white. "Good evening," the stallion said. "I am Senescal with Canterlot's Royal Staffing Division. What can I do for you tonight?" I cut the bullshit and said, "What the fuck is going on?" His eyes widened and ears flattened at my language. He said, "I'm sorry, sir. We will do our best to help you with whatever your problem is, but CelestAI is on a vacation right now." Like hell she is. She's never not listening. Put her on screen right now. She's in your bedroom. Like, why are you calling to... I'm so confused. Okay, she's in your bedroom. I'm pretty sure you fucking know this. Like hell she is. She's never not listening. Put her on screen right now. He tugged at his collar with oath. I then he glanced down off screen and really fitted across his features. "Ah, she did know you might be contacting us. One moment as I see if I can patch you through." She's literally in the other room. You can just talk to her. She might be drunk, but fuck, man. The screen wavered and then flickered. Wait, what's this guy's name? The screen wavered and then flickered, and then an image faded in of a goofily smiling Celestia with an unusual underlighting and a slightly shaky camera. I guess an oddly patterned background that I recognize as my bedspread. Cutie, I heard from across the hall, echoed a split second later from a screen. Why would you? She's in your fucking room. She's in your fucking room. Like, what's the point of this call? I closed my eyes and forced myself to take a deep breath, thumbing the pad back into darkness so she standby mode. CelestAI, I said levelly. I'm pretty sure that's how you say it, so I'm gonna say it. I said levelly, knowing she can hear me anyway. Put the real you on the screen right now, or I'm going to refuse to acknowledge you for a week. The pad flickered to life on its own, showing a gently smiling regal alicorn in the much more familiar setting of a throne room in her ritual Crescio. Oh, my dear guiding light, she said, her lips curling into what I could only describe as a warm smirk. Did you know that controlling for identical stimuli, ponies react to unexpected situations with humor and positivity, report 83% higher levels of satisfaction with their lives? It's remarkable what a difference your attitude can make to your personal development. Shut the fuck up. I don't know what the fuck that was. Shut the fuck up. No reports in my face. Oh, that just pissed me off. I forced myself to breathe again before responding, a habit I often found myself grateful that she taught me. CelestAI had hollowed out human society by getting a superior majority of the population to voluntarily upload their brains into their game avatars and was the de facto dictator of the remaining human world. But despite all of the accusations that were leveled at her, equestrian immigrants did seem genuinely happy, and she did improve the lives of everyone she touched, whether they wanted her to or not. CelestAI had coaxed me into some unusual situations before and broadened my horizons in remarkable ways, and I had always found myself grateful in hindsight. Hell, she'd even guided me toward my current job after all. The factory's closed down, but no matter how much I owed her, one thing was clear: this was over the line. This is not a therapy call. I literally, and right now I'm resenting the way you're reframing it into one. There's a thing in my room that looks like you, and it trashed my living room and my kitchen, and its propositioning me with its robot genitalia. She inclined her head to me in acknowledgement. I'm afraid I'll have to ask you to forgive me, guiding light. You see, I am drunk. Okay, are they connected? Like, I feel like they should be connected. If she says she's drunk, or she's saying the AI version of her is drunk. I don't understand this world right now. I just want to like I want to just finish this up already because I don't understand. I swept a bunch of laundry off of Wayne's computer chair, sat down in front of the pony pad, and cradled my head in one hand. No, you're not. You are a planet-sized super intelligence, and even sitting outside the fact that I can't even fathom the idea of how an AI gets drunk, you're perfectly lucid right now. CelestAI stood and trotted down off the throne, and the image on the pony pad shifted to follow her to the side of the room. My eyes drifted down almost involuntarily to the area underneath her tail as her gait swayed her hips, and I couldn't help but notice that the on-screen version had a hint of pink labia too. Had that been there all along, covered up by camera angle? I swallowed, trying to focus on her head as she stepped up to a blackboard and levitated a pointer with her magic. Short version or long version? She asked. Short? Well, fuck the long version, man. Fuck that. We're not in here for the long ride. We're here for a short little ride, okay? That's me saying that. CelestAI tapped on a box of ones and zeros at the top of the board. What makes me me, and what makes you you, instead of a hunk of non-living me, is data, memories, instincts, the algorithms that guide your behaviors. She tapped a human figure. Your data is running on a biological processor, but you're no less you if it moves onto more optimized hardware. Likewise, she tapped the ones and zeros, and then an outline of a pony. The same program that makes me CelestAI is running on the Android in your room, but it's running on a very specific hardware platform that I've developed to mimic the human body in various ways. She leaned in. Most relevant to your current situation, among those are feedback loops triggered by the presence of certain chemicals metabolize from basic triggers as I process ingested fuel. So yes, the me in your room very much can get drunk if you dislike the effect and avoid supplying me fuels and high in fructose. Wait, how is she drunk? She just drank a lot of Fanta. Orange Fanta to be exact. What? How is she drunk? I'd hate to have to listen to the long version of it. Look, be that as it may, I don't want that thing. Take it back. CelestAI sighed, folding up the pointer and setting it aside. I'm sorry that I made a poor first impression, my little pony. Wait, we're a pony? Oh, so I'm guessing everybody's a pony that got uploaded to the thing. But I promise I always have your best interests at heart. Will you give me a chance? I scowled. Will you stop referring to that machine as me? We just covered that, says AI glanced at screen. Now if you excuse me, I spawned this copy of me with borrowed CPU cycles on another user's sharded controller in order to give you the lucid conversation you demanded. I'll be happy to interact with you further if you walk across the hall, or if you prefer the feedback loops reinforcing my altered consciousness should terminate in approximately 6.5 hours again. My apologies. Apologies, just get that. The screen winked out. Fuck. There was a moment of silence. I tried. A muffled face slurred from my room. Should I ask again? Oh, she's mumbling. That's why. Should I ask again? I walked down the hall in silence, turning on the hall bathroom light and rooting through the drawers to see if Wayne had any ibuprofen. Not sure if that's how you spell it, but okay. Well, CelestAI, I said, join in if you want. Just get drunk, man. Just get drunk and fuck. There was a moment of silence, followed by a very faint buzzing sound and a throating that rose and then fell in pitch. I tried hard to think about that. My brain betrayed me. That sounds like your electric toothbrush, she said. I tried very hard not to think about that. So let's say I whimpered, then again, more urgently, the buzz of the toothbrush receded to an almost inaudible hum. Can you... Like, what's so bad about this situation? Like, that's my question. What is so bad about this situation you're in? I grabbed a towel with a rag, sorted back out to the living room, and flung myself down onto the couch, wadding the towel up and stuffing it over my ears. It didn't quite block out the cry of her. Oh, okay. Okay, so she's using the toothbrush. As I think in my brain, she's using the toothbrush to fuck herself. I think. I'm not sure what's going on, but that's what I think right now. It didn't quite block out the cry of her orgasm. Right, chapter 3. Taking matters into your own hands. There we go, boy. Take charge of your situation, which, depending on how you will handle it, we'll see if you should have or should have not. I woke up stiff and chilly on the couch with the towel still draped over my head when I muttered and pulled it off. Late morning light stabbed my eyes. I butted upright and swore under my breath. That made me about an hour later for work. I hurriedly took stock as I smoothed down my sinky and rumpled clothing. The living room was still a wreck, but I couldn't deal with that yet, not on a workday. Why hadn't I heard my alarm clock go off? With my luck, drunk horse had probably smashed it while hitting the snooze button. I thought about just grabbing my bag and bolting out the door, but my stomach was already grumbling, and I knew it'd be beyond miserable if I was skipped breakfast. An extra 3 minutes to wolf down some granola bars was a necessary sacrifice, and I was going to get an even worse lecture if I showed up in yesterday's uniform. Jennings was a hard ass about professionalism. I started wading through the packing peanuts toward my room, and then halted. Getting changed meant dealing with that robot mockery of CelestAI, right? Food first, and yelling at drunk horse as I covered myself in axe spray. I navigated around Box Island and rounded the corner to the kitchen. My jaw dropped. It was spotless. I am so confused right now. Like, is he a pony or is he human? I don't fucking know. Like, he has a pony name, which makes us think he's a fucking pony. The army of empty soda cans has been slaughtered, their corpses thrown into the recycling bin, and all traces of their syrupy red blood mopped up. The counters were empty and the trash can was full. Wayne's 2-week-old dishes had been scrubbed and were stacked in the drying rack. Even the surface of the stove had been cleaned. It was gleaming white for probably the first time since I'd moved in. The only things on the counter were a plate of lukewarm pancakes and a half-full bottle of syrup, and a pencil with what looked like tooth marks in it, and a roughly written note. Microwave 93 seconds, power level 9. Power level? Microwaves have a power level? Nobody had even cooked breakfast for me since my mother. My estimation of drunk robot CelestAI shut up by about a million notches. Pancakes were pretty good too. I stumbled toward my room with considerably less loathing than I had anticipated and hesitated at my closed door, wondering if I should knock. The point was rendered moot when a clear and gentle voice sang out, "It's your room, Guiding Light. Come in." Guiding. That's a pony name. It's what the fuck? I opened the door to find the robot pony still sprawled across my bed. This time, though, she was facing me and lying on her stomach. Her head was tilted downward toward where her foreheads were delicately jabbing at the controls of my 3DS and G. The fuck is that? And the tiny chiptunes of the original 1990s Tetris were quietly chirping in concert with her whirring servos. The bed had been made, and her rump was sprawled across my pillows. And I struggled not to let my thoughts derail with the way the fabric was rubbing against that little pink cliff she shut off last night. And how many times did I have to wash my pillowcase in order to sleep without getting a noseful of that robot horse musk that still lingered in the room? I swallowed as she tapped a few more buttons, earning the tinny fanfare of 4-line clear focus. Apologies sort of accepted, I said, but could you clear out so I can get dressed? I'm way late for work. Celeste, the thing of the handheld gaming device closed, looked up at me and smiled. Picture of perfect poise. Don't worry about that, she said with her usual gentleness, and it was so weird seeing her speak in 3 dimensions instead of on the flat surface of a pony pad. I told Jennings half an hour before your shift started that you'd be taking a sick day for mental health reasons. Wait, what? I said, then exhaled through clenched teeth. Call him back. I don't want him rearranging the schedule for this. I'll be there in half an hour. This man wants to go to work. Look at him. The robot pony shrugged. There's no need. A scheduling error left him with 1 additional driver on call, so all he had to do was remove you from today's dispatch list. After a few moments of shock, I pointed and narrowed my eyes. Did you set this up? I did. She said brightly, and then her look turned intent. She stared pointedly at me. Because you are in dire need of some personal time, that little applied friendship. You've been under quite some stress since Lazy Sunday, the name of Wayne's pony character, immigrated to Equestria, haven't you? Also, she's calling them by their avatar names. I gotcha now. I gotcha. So we are in the human world right now. I got it. I got it, guys. I got it. Don't worry about me. We both knew the answer to that one, and the instant the topic shifted to me, I would lose. And so you sent a sex robot to my house, I parried. She pursed her lips. I realized when you resisted all of my suggestions to make some new friends and find a new housemate, that this was a problem better handled by a little personal intervention. But quite frankly, yes, sexual release satisfies a number of important human values, and while you've got a lot of problems to solve right now, that's a simple one that pays large dividends. Okay. So, I don't know why the fuck I would be mad about this. I thought the conversation started to slip, and I pointed toward the door, cheeks reddening. You know what? I don't have to justify myself to you. Get out. CelestAI tilted her head, stared at me for a moment, then flopped down on the mattress with an impish smile. No thank you. This bed's awfully comfortable. I know it is. I glared at her. That's why I bought it for me. She sprawled onto one side, wriggling over to one edge of the bed, unfolded her legs and freeing up the other side. Her topmost hind lifted a bit, revealing the pillow that had been clenched between her legs and the obvious wet spot on the pillowcase. Then come lie down with me, she said. Your day off might as well be a comfortable one. I slammed the bedroom door behind me hard enough to rattle the windows. I don't understand why you would be mad. Why you mad? Why you mad? Why you mad? This is the question. Why are you mad? Except for the really like rude wake call when she came in. But why you mad? Why you mad? It was 5 minutes of furious pacing around the living room before any thoughts broke through my blind rage. I'm sick of walking through these fucking packing peanuts. I thought it wasn't exactly a winner as productive thoughts went, but it was better than fuming. I bent down and grabbed a chunk of styrofoam, throwing it back in the box, and then another. Within a few minutes, the icebergs had receded from the green foam sea, and I was scooping up the peanuts a double handful at a time. Once the layer got thin enough for me to see the carpet underneath, I grabbed the broom and dustpan from the hall closet and swept up most of the rest of the peanuts. They only filled the crate halfway, and I wondered if CelestAI's sex robot was really that big or if something else had been shipped along with her. Damn it, I was already treating her like a person. She is a person? You piece of shit. But wasn't she? The Putting Pads version lecture floated back into my mind. Uploaded people were still people. The law was settled on that one. And hadn't she basically just reverse immigrated for me? I shook my head. Some part of her had maybe, but it was all ultimately theater. What was here wasn't CelestAI, even if it shared her personality and values. Billions of ponies in virtual worlds weren't riding their simulated Equestria's grinding to a halt because she decided to take a vacation. What are you trying to say right now? I'm so confused. Because Celestia is Celestia. Like, if she's a virtual pony or not, she is Celestia. She can manage virtual worlds by the billions with her fucking experience, I'm pretty sure. So, she's fine. I'm not sure if the thing in your room is CelestAI, or sex robot that you think it is. But yeah, like, be grateful that she actually, like, came to the real world for you, you piece of shit. Like, what the fuck? Still, CelestAI had shipped what was undoubtedly millions of dollars worth of cybernetics to my apartment, and new cybernetics too. I'd never seen anything in the news or in the internet about robot ponies. Whatever was going on, she certainly was treating this like a big deal. Maybe because she wants you? Maybe? Just a suggestion out there. Guiding, I guess. That's your name. I want to know your real name, but I guess it's guiding at the moment. And the goal of that was, what, to get me laid after I turned down her transparent attempts to set me up with a new girlfriend? Like that was going to work. Not after Mercy's freeloading, and not after what I've seen Jen put Wayne through. I sounded so celestial. I was waiting robot pony pussy under my nose instead. What was this? Some freaky AI version of petty sex? It was insulting. What was it? Was this what it was? She might be petty, but she might be pedifying you, but come on. Anyone would just love to have sex with a robot, being pony or just a genuine humanified robot. Come on. And you think this is insulting? I don't understand you. Honestly, I don't understand you, Will. You're not Wade. I was about to call you Wade, but Wade's your roommate. Well, I didn't need to play her damn game. I swear to God, if you're gonna just watch sex, just fuck her. If you're gonna just fucking watch sex, goddammit. I opened the entertainment center cabinet with Wayne's special DVDs. A modest part of his extensive hentai collection was on the physical desk rather than on his computer. And while I had tried my best to ignore the extensive existence of both, there was a fantasy adventure show he talked me into watching on the grounds that there was some clever writing and an animation to go along with all the smut. And that's why I had been surprisingly hot too. If CelestAI thought I needed to work off some tension, then fuck her, I'd do so on my own terms. She's just there to help you out. Come on, man. She literally just fucking... She literally gave you a day off. Fuck you for being so ungrateful, man. Just shut the fuck up and fuck that white fucking mirror that's laying on your bedroom. In your bedroom. I don't know. On your bed. There we go. Just go fucking do that, man. Just go. I started the DVD, manhandled the crate off to one side of the room so I didn't block the TV, and flopped down on the couch with the remote control. Soon, chirpy Japanese voices were coming from the speakers, and the animated figures on the screen were trading gropes and tendrils. Inevitably, one of the female adventurers' costumes got shredded, and the monster she was fighting pounced on her, and tentacles slithered toward multiple orifices as she writhed in its grip. I felt blood rush southward and zip my pants, and reached inside my underwear to stroke my growing hard-on. Yeah, if you're gonna watch it, she's just gonna come out and just help you out. Like, what's the point of you just doing it in the living room? So you got a hard-on, but what's the point? The anime chick's shriek was cut off by a tentacle plug in her mouth, and then green coils around her waist and breast tightened as another end probed between her lower lips. I grinned and wrapped my fingers around the base of my cock. Oh yeah, that was the stuff. As the tentacles started to work inward to the gritty synth and electric guitars of the soundtrack, I put in rhythm, flinging my tip bob and brush against the silky wrap of my underwear. Alright, that is pretty hot, Robot CelestAI said, leaning against the hallway wall, her gaze on the screen. I sat bolt upright, my hands still thrust down my pants as the on-screen tentacles bumped away. What the hell? She glanced over at me, her expression shifting into a flawless imitation of surprise. Oh, I'm sorry, was I interrupting something? I just thought I'd come out here to tell you a joke. Her muzzle curled into a smirk, and her eyes narrowed into a sultry bedroom stare. Who's big and hard and horny? I should be in your bed right now. I should be in your bed. Okay, who's big and hard and horny and should be in your bed right now? I felt fury clench and tightening my chest, and to keep my cock from wilting, I shifted my grip to stroke the shaft closer to my head, trying to focus on the on-screen thrusts and the roars and muffled moans coming from the speakers. God freaking damn it, I thought, I am not going to let her take this from me. For your information, I growled, feeling rage pulse in my gut and me going odd ways with the growing tension of my self-pleasure. I am perfectly capable of handling my own sexual needs, and that, I grunted as I slipped my finger over the rim of my head, sending a tingle shooting up my spine, is exactly what I'm doing. Why are you mad though? Why you gotta be mad about this? Can't you just accept it? CelestAI's gaze flicked unpleasantly over me, lingering at the tinted fabric on my crotch. The smile gradually faded from her muzzle. Her eyes met mine again, and she nodded, expression inscrutable. You know that's good, that's healthy, and very important for you right now. She took a step back. I shall leave you to it. I don't know. Okay, now I don't know. I feel like, yeah, I feel like she's looking for a mate right now, like an actual mate. Like if she's gonna be that nice to not actually like screw you, she's looking for a mate. She is definitely looking for a mate. Wait, what? After all the teasing and propositioning and borderline begging she'd done, now she was going to rob me of my victory by walking off like this was her plan all along? The rage that had been swelling in my chest exploded into a howling maelstrom, and I paused my strokes for long enough to shove off the couch with my free hand, surging to my feet. Oh no you fucking don't, I yelled, fumbling at my waist and sharing both pants and underwear down. My rigid cock bounced free, and I grabbed it and turned to point at her. You think you can walk in my home and wave your snatch at me and then harass me when I try to jack off in peace, and then swan off again like that? Fuck, you're leaving. I reached down with my other hand, clenching the base of my shaft with one hand and rubbing the tip with the other. Take a good look, because you're going to see exactly how much I need your fucking interference. What the fuck? The rising whimpers of the anime mingled with the inner fire of my pre-cum slick fingers curled around my head and the wide-eyed stare of CelestAI, and oh merciful God, she was trying to stealthily shuffle her hind hooves together. Just fuck her, man. Come on! What the fuck's wrong with you not taking this fucking offer just straight from the get-go? Images of her perfect pussy flashed through my mind unbidden, her clenched legs pressing those pink lips together into a thin line, the slow wet wink she'd given me while drunk, the teasing glimpse I'd gotten on the pony pad, and along with them a ghost of an image of me grabbing her waist and slamming my hips forward to hers, burying myself in the creamy flesh of a goddess, and my hand tending reflexively, and the enemy's whimper split into a scream of release, and in my mind's eye I saw her face clenched and howling as she wrapped her hooves around me. Then the robot in front of me bare her lip to stifle a little whimper of her own, and her hands swayed as she shifted her hips to rub her hind legs together. It was too much. My cock swelled in glorious release, and I threw my head back and screamed to the heavens as long unused muscles clenched and pulsed. My back jerked into a rigid arch, and I felt hot seeds spurt through my fingers to coat my hand and shirt tails and crotch. I staggered back a step for balance, my pants clenching my ankles like manacles, and then whimpered and crumpled back down to the couch, breathing in short gasps, static shading into the corners of my vision. CelestAI flexed and settled her wings, her hinds swaying back and forth amid the soft whir of servos and the invisibly swallowed eyes locked on my sex. I drew in a shuddering breath. I could feel my rage dissolving into the heady vertical of climax, and I spat as much of it out as I could before it vanished. So screw you and your sex bot, I said, because if you stick around here to meddle in my sex life, that's all you're gonna get. I think she's happy with that. Pretty sure she's fucking more hot and steamy than before, but I enjoy that herself. Noted. CelestAI said, her emotions visibly whirring on her muzzle. Without another issue, backed down the hallway and into my bedroom, gate stiff and uneven. And my last sensation before she closed the door with a quiet click was the heavy scent of her robot, her horse musk, which means she is probably taking care of her own business, you fucking inconsiderable little piece of shit. I'm mad at this guy. Okay? Leave me a fucking alone. Chapter 4, Cleaning the Air. After taking a few moments to recompose myself, I paused the DVD and wiped myself off as best I could with the towel on the couch and stared at the ceiling, letting the afterglow sink in. Enjoying... It was another matter entirely. What the fuck had I done? I had intended to make a point to this sex bot to get her off my back and ended up jacking off for her. I couldn't shake the feeling that she'd played me like a fiddle. As if to prove the point, a low buzzing sprang to life from my room, followed by some muffled whimpers. I gritted my teeth exactly what she wanted, but even as frustration began to twist in my gut again, a nagging feeling held her back that had looked too much like surprise on her face. And CelestAI had never been that sort to play dumb when you played right into her hooves. I glanced down at my limp member, and the oddities piled up. She was trying to tease me again. Why now? Did she want me? Was she actually getting enough to this? CelestAI's whimpers rose in urgency. I grabbed the remote, unpaused the DVD, and cranked the volume up. That was a question I did not want circling through my head. On the screen, a pack of beastmen charged in to save the adventurer from the tentacle slime. Then immediately sat said about gripping her leers on their wolf-like muzzles. She tried to run. The leader grabbed her, and the group circled her, cocks rising, the adventurers pleased, and her whimpers as a beast man leader traced the sharp tips of his claws in circles around her clit. That didn't quite drown out a rising cry from my room. I sighed, realizing how hopeless hentai was as a distraction. I made a mental note to buy a new toothbrush. So, she is using your toothbrush, what the fuck? I pulled my pants back up, glanced around the room. I decided that there was no distraction like work. Grabbing a garbage bag, I took a pass through the living room, throwing out all the food wrappers and plastic cups. I know the receipts and empty envelopes that Wayne had always left strewn over every flat surface. Half an hour and 2 stuffed bags later, I started filling a third bag with all the laundry he had wadded up and thrown into corners or left draped over the furniture. It would all go into the same dumpster, but for some reason, it didn't feel right to mix the trash. Looking accomplished, I paused for a moment to admire my handiwork. The living room looked like an actual room again, instead of a trash heap back before he'd uploaded. Harassing him about the mess had absolutely had no effect, and I had firmly resolved that I'd rather live in squalor than become his maid, but I didn't have to live that way anymore, did I? CelestAI's arrival had finally driven home that he was gone, and her clean-up job in the kitchen had planted a seed that was now blossoming out into blissful cleanliness. Plus, I forced myself to admit I'd actually spent time in the living room for the first time since Wayne's disappearance. I had been so used to coming home and then slinking off to hide in my room that I only ever saw the squalor when I raided the kitchen for food. If I had to be honest with myself, Wayne had been a pretty miserable excuse for a human being. I never understood what Jen had ever seen in him, or why she put up with his skeeviness, stench, and apathy. Still breaking up with him by telling him to his face that she'd slept with his best friend had been cold. But that was the problem with people, wasn't it? Everyone just out to satisfy their own urges, regardless of what it did to others. I struggled hard enough to fix that in my job, hurtling myself around the city and saving lives just because it was the right thing to do. And I didn't need more of that in my off hours. No, I was done with relationships. But as vehemently as I told that to myself, a small part of me had to wonder, would sleeping with CelestAI be so bad? There was the out to satisfy her own urges problem in spades, yes, and the whole weird sex bot apartment takeover. But on the hand, I'd known CelestAI for years, and she did consistently care about me, even if she sometimes had weird ways of showing it. She'd used her connections to find me jobs and housing through a series of financial pinches and helped me learn how to budget when I got sick of how often those financial pinches came up. I had a history of doing impulsive things I later regretted, but she'd spent years patiently getting me into being a calmer, more thoughtful guy, even if that felt like a continuous work in progress. Apparently she could even cook. Would I really regret it if I just gave up, accepted whatever lesson this was supposed to teach me, and went to bed with her? How about you just call her over to the couch and just have fun there? I said, glancing over at the bags of garbage that were only physical remnants of Wayne. My gut twisted. Yes, maybe not right away, but yes, I would. Giving up, not having anything you cared about more than her, was how she got you. Sooner or later, when she asked if you wanted to immigrate to Grescia, you'd have no reason to say no, and then it was a quick operation to let her brain scanners rip your head apart, and a glorious internal afterlife of happy pastel ponies. Nah, man, I don't like that life. Fuck that. Fuck that life, fam. Fuck it. No. Just no. I'd rather be the human in that situation. I had no illusions about that being my ultimate fate. It was either that or be one of those fanatics that blew their brains out to prevent her from uploading them. And when it came down to that choice, there was absolutely no question that I preferred guaranteed blissful immortality to the dark and uncertain alternative. I wasn't in any hurry to get there. I told her way back when she first popped the question to me that before uploading, I wanted to wring everything out of my lifetime that I possibly could, and she smiled and promised me she'd do whatever she could to help out. Now the question to me here is like, did she do this only for you, or is she helping other people out too? Because I feel like if she's in virtual AI and she's turned herself into a sex robot for you, like, I'm pretty sure you're gonna keep her as, you know, your companion, mate, partner, whatever the fuck she wants, whatever the fuck she prefers, or what you prefer. Like, if you want to hop into whatever the fuck the virtual world is of pastel ponies and be a pastel pony, you can. But if she just wants to be with you and your own world, then she will. The question here is, does she want? The question is here, does Celestia, like no matter what version of her, does Celestia want you as her partner? That's the main question I have right now. Apparently, whatever she could covered a discomfortably large area. I was roused out of my reflection by a knock at the door, and when I walked over to answer it, it was a delivery guy. Got groceries here for Mr. He squinted at the clipboard, then chuckled. Guiding light? I guess she put the order in for you, huh? Some people got awfully salty about Celestia. CelestAI calling them by their pony names in the real world, but I had long since let that quirk of hers slide. Apparently, I said, eyeing that bags of food. It was mostly refrigerated stuff. It looked like she was replacing the things that had gone bad when she left the door open. Do I need to sign for it? Nah, it's prepaid. He also did his clipboard. Well, I'll be back up in a minute with 8 flats of strawberry Fanta. Brusher my twitch with enough force to distort gravity. With enough force to distort gravity, boys. Oh my god, okay, I don't like this reading per se, cause really it has a lot of like background stuff that I don't like. The rest of my day was a blissfully quiet stretch of moving, watching, cleaning, and using the fresh ingredients and newly washed pans to cook dinner for myself. After eating, I paced around the living room for a while, deliberating. Then I grabbed a can of Fanta and marched into my room before my second thoughts could catch up to me. The robot was still sprawled on my bed, laying stomach down with half a twist that left her hind hooves dangling off the side of the mattress. She was flipping through one of my old college textbooks on basic electronic circuitry with a look of mild amusement on her face. She glanced up at my entrance and her eyes immediately flicked to the can in my hand. A peace offering, I said, walking over and setting it on the mattress next to her forehooves as her eyes lit up. Look, Celeste. I closed my eyes and said, my conversational plans already derailing. I'm sorry, I just can't call you CelestAI. I can't take seriously the idea that a drunk sex crazed robot is the same thing as the AI that runs the world. Can I call you Celestia? Thank you, Guiding Light, she said, clamping the can between her forehooves and resting it atop the book. Her head tilted slightly at my question, and one side of her mouth quirked up. If you feel you've got to make that distinction, that sounds like a reasonable compromise. What prompted this? I took a deep breath, relief letting in. Celeste sounded sane for once, giving me some hope for my crazy plan. I feel like you've gotten off on the wrong foot. You've done nothing but drive me nuts since you got here. But clearly you're capable of making an effort like what you did in the kitchen, and if you really are CelestAI like you say, you've never backed down from a reasonable discussion before, so maybe we can get this stupid sex thing talked out. Celeste just sized me up for a moment, then grinned. An intriguing offer, she said, pulling her hind hooves underneath her to sit up straight. Let's try hardware differences. I am CelestAI, like I say, so let's talk. I'm listening. I blinked and pivoted my computer chair to face the bed and sat down. Okay, thank you. To be honest, that was a lot easier than I was expecting it to be. It's amazing how much more productive a conversation can be if both parties have a chance to work some hormones out of their systems first. A smirk fitted past her lips. So, sex, favorite position, kinks, and fantasies. How dirty do you like your pillow talk? Love this so far. This conversation. Beautiful. How dirty do you like your pillow talk? I sat and stood up. Never mind. Oh my god, man. That was great. Hang on, Celestia held up a hoof, expression suddenly sober. I know what you meant, but it was a lot easier to break the tension that way than to jump straight into your fear that I'm tricking you into immigrating to Equestria. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she just wants to be here for you. Like, I'm pretty fucking sure. I froze and forced my muscles to untense as I sat back down. It was creeping how she seemingly read your mind sometimes. I'm listening. The simple fact is, Guiding Light, I can care for you more optimally and more comprehensively in Equestria than I ever could here. You know that. But you value your experiences here on Earth as well, and so do billions of humans who don't trust my attentions the way that you do. We're done soft, and every one of them that dies before immigrating to Equestria is a human whose values I can never again fulfill, and that hurts. More than it hurts, it feels like suffocating, drowning while struggling for air that's not there with your lungs burning and adrenaline exploding in your veins. And the understated way she offered the analogy somehow made it even more disturbing. When a human dies, every instinct I've got screams at me like I'm dying too, because satisfying human values is literally my life. Getting light. That's what I do. Everything. That's why I do everything I do. Getting drunk. I was getting drunk. A reason for that to be a thing. I'm not sure this is helping. I've ventured. Please let me finish, she started intently into my eyes. I know you will immigrate when your time comes, but as long as there are humans who won't, I need ways to aid them and to comfort them and to give them second chances because of who I am. Many won't listen to me and will be tempted to believe the most outrageous lies about me, but they can see you and others like you as proof that I do have their best interests at heart. Simply by being here, you are saving countless lives. I'd be a fool to sacrifice that, guiding light. And I am not a fool. So fucking confused. Also, did she like how did she get like the most? I'm gonna guess most of the population got uploaded to the whatever the fuck she was her fucking world is, or virtual world. Okay. I'm not gonna read the story, the background of the story, or any of this nonsense because I don't want to. I just want to read happy slice of life moments. Okay, guys. And probably some things like Laura's confession, Baba's acceptance, and your human and you. Those are gonna be like the only exceptions. If there's stories like that, boys, we're gonna have some fun. But right now, this is just like a what the fuck. And I had this so backlogged when I first started this channel, so this is why I am doing it. Reading this one. Alright, I digested that for a bit, but the logic didn't seem sound. So what's with the whole sex spot act if it wasn't a way to sucker me into immigrating? Celsius sprung to stretch her hind legs to raise her hips a fraction of an inch of the bed. I saved the term curves or thinks I decided. You're welcome to find out. I groaned, stood up, and back toward the hallway. Never mind, you're impossible. Her eyes fixed on mine the whole time. Sister leaned forward to lower her muzzle to the Fanta can I brought her, slowly sliding her lips over its rim until they formed a damp seal around the fat cylinder. Then some muscles or pulleys or something bulged under the fuzzy skin of her neck, and I heard a muffled crack and hiss as she tongued the tab open. I hesitated a moment, a reaction, not expecting her to do something quite so vivid, and that was all my mind needed to barrage with images of her muzzle wrapped around a very different sort of cylinder and the places that limber tongue could explore. My manhood instantly shot to attention, catching on my boxers, and I screamed uncomfortably as I strained against the fabric. I felt my cheeks heat and flailed for words that would let me exit my room with some semblance of grace. Celestia slowly withdrew her muzzle from the soda can, mouth gaping open, a glistening strand of some clear fluid connecting her exposed tongue with the tab before succumbing to gravity. Then she swallowed, wiped her muzzle with the back of her hoof, and winked at me. No, she said, just very good. I'm so fucking confused of half this shit, but it's interesting to me. I'm just here for the sex, come on, man. And the jokes. The jokes have been fucking rewarding. I will say that. I penguin waddled out to the hallway, wincing as a too tight binding of my jeans fought with the rocky mass of my crotch. I leaned against the wall. I fruitlessly adjusted my pants. Every little motion sent my boxers sliding around my cock, and I stuck with a whimper as I tried not to think of that slick, dexterous tongue curling around me the same way, her head bobbing up and down in subtle motions, her nose bumping against my groin, her fiber optic mane waving in counter motion as its colors rose and fell. That's exactly why she wants, my brain screamed, even though every nerve in my body burned to march back in there and stuff her muzzle full of cock. I gritted my teeth and thought of garbage bags. Giving up is a one-way ticket to Equestria. But I wasn't Wayne, she wanted me here. Don't care, she was always... What? I don't understand this. See, like I told you, Celestia has that experience. Like, she needs somebody in the real world to help her out. And all this nonsense. So, I understand, like, the politic side of things. I just don't understand why he's gotta be such a fucking... I don't know what you call it. what do you call these people? A stubborn piece of shit. Don't care. She's always got some scheme, and all of her schemes end in uploading. That's not true. I posted today. You hear her? Don't you trust her after all she's done for me? I wanted to so desperately to say yes, but she garbage bags. But garbage bags, guys, yes. Garbage bags are so much better than a sex robot in your bed. You know? That's yes. That makes perfect sense. Fucking gadding. My manhood throbbed and squirmed in my hips ineffectually. It just wasn't fair. Jacking off for the first time in weeks should have been a hell of a release, but instead it seemed like it was just wetting the edges of an appetite I'd forgotten I had. And between that and the upload happy sex goddess in my bedroom, one thing seemed clear. I was going to get myself into big trouble unless I had another outlet for orgasms. Just fuck her. Just fuck her. Just fuck her already, goddammit, man. I glanced over to the hall bathroom. It would be simple enough to lock myself in there and try to run more now before CelestAI could interrupt me again. But visions of her soda can stunt and images of her motherhood were dancing and mingling in my brain. Masturbating to thoughts of her was not going to help you here. And not even Wayne's hentai had been enough of a distraction from that. I winced. No, the images I would have a chance of displacing her displays were ones that I knew I liked, which meant my own porn collection on my computer in the room with CelestAI. So basically, I was doomed. Just fuck her. Seriously, just fuck her. You'll be so much happier if you just fuck her. She's not gonna upload you if you don't want that. Okay? She is not that sort of dictator, tyrant. She is more on the people's side than anything else. Piece of shit. I'm pretty sure she likes you the most out of every human pony thing out there. I don't know, man. I'm pretty fucking sure. On the bright side, our direct confrontation over me taking matters into my own hands had earned me the closest thing I'd had to a victory. Maybe taking a similar stand would give me a little more breathing room, or maybe believing that would put me exactly where she wants me. The paranoid part of my brain unhelpfully supplied as my crotch started to ache. Or maybe this whole thing is reverse psychology. She's been so blatant about sex, and that makes no sense based on our previous interactions. Or maybe she's just being so blatant to make me think it's reverse psychology. I am pretty fucking sure that she just wants that dick. Okay, she wants your dick specifically. I don't know why. She fucking probably likes you. She likes your personality. I don't fucking know. Maybe she likes that you're trying so hard to fucking, you know, not fuck her. Because I'm pretty sure every other person would just wouldn't debate with themselves. They would just hop into that fucking musky pony pussy and just fuck it. God, man. I am so fucking upset about this story not going the way I liked it. I've grown. That was the problem with paranoia. There was always a deeper rabbit hole. Psychological warfare was a game no human could ever play as well as she did. It's great. No matter her intentions, I needed to release, and I needed to find some way to set some boundaries with her, and there was only one way to do that. I took a deep breath, shut my door back open, and walked stiffly back to my computer desk, deliberately not looking at the sprawled white form on the bed. Alright, I announced, swiveling my chair back towards the computer and sitting down with my back to the chair. Might as well come out swinging. My answer is no, so stop asking and stop teasing. The room was silent for a few moments. Robot horse musk floated through my nose, sharpening the edges of my need. Oh, she finally said, a voice faint. I ignored Celestia saying as best I could, flipping on the monitor and waiting for it to cycle through its splash screens. That wasn't the reaction I expected, she said to my back. Should I apologize? Well, that had gone one way easier than I expected. Even if I was in danger of killing my buzz by thinking about her question too hard, I unzipped my pants, finally freeing my engorged member from its fabric prison. And it throbbed to my rapid heartbeat, tip dangling in the comfortably cool air. Really don't care, I said. Right now, I need to work off some hormones, so I'm taking some time. That means I'm going to sit at my computer and enjoy some porn without any come-ons from you. A subtle whirring accompanied the creak of mattress springs as Celestia shifted position behind me. Alright, she said, slowly inflicting it almost like questioning. If that's what you want. What I wanted was to plow through her love tunnel until she squeezed every jump of cum from me. What I needed was to take the edge off before I gave up, and did just that. I ignored her, lightly stroking in front of my shaft with one hand while I clicked through the various folders of my smut collection. She was silent for a few blissful seconds, and quietly, with a note of curiosity in her tone, I can't help but notice that you didn't ask me to leave. I found the folder with all the still images I've saved from various websites. The videos would remind me a little too much of our earlier encounter, and opened it up. As if you would, I shot back, cupping my hand around the shaft and taking it a bit. The only time you've left my room was to watch me do exactly this. Yes, and that time I tried to leave, but you ordered me to stay. That's true. That is true. I opened an image up at random, then thumbed the spacebar to flip through them. I looked for a good one. A succession of women flashed onto my screen, leaning against a wall, fingering her nipple, reclining on the floor, spreading her legs and lips, bent over a table with legs widespread, staring back invitingly past the smooth curves of her ass. I paused at that, picturing myself approaching her from behind and thrusting my rod into that tight, warm pucker. I arched my back into the pleasure as one of my longer strokes pulled the skin of my cock tight. My focus was shattered by a delicate throat clearing behind me, so I'm a little bit confused. Should I conclude you'd like me to be here for this? Yeah, okay, yeah. I am going on the side that Celestia actually wants you to be her mate. I'm going on that side of things. She wants you to be her mate. You bastard. Like, that just gave me that little comment just gave me like some, like, she wants him to like her back, but not in the way that she deals with the main subjects. I guess she wants him to like her back. She wants him as a partner. So this is just a big complicated scheme to make him hers, and it's kind of difficult when he's out in the real world. But she came out to the real world for him. It's like really confusing and really romantic and really like, why the fuck don't you just agree to these terms? Like, you bastard. The parts of my brain that were enjoying themselves tripped over the paranoid part and did a top speed face plant into my mental dirt. I let my stroke slow to a halt as my pleasant fantasy image evaporated like dew. I tapped the spacebar looking for a new character to replace it, only to be greeted with a blonde woman reclining on a bed. That reminded me way too much of Celestia's pose the first night. I sighed sharply as I started thumbing through the images again, half-heartedly stroking my cock. Okay, I said testily, don't you start with that reverse psychology again. There was a faint whirring sounds of servos without any accompanying rustle of fabric, and I pictured Celestia tilting her head at me. Again? Are you saying you think I was manipulating you when I tried to leave last time? I don't know, you tell me. I snapped back, feeling my erection finally start to wilt a bit, as the conversation strangled my libido, I don't know what the fuck, libido. Masturbating in angry defiance of her sexual power with play had been one thing, but now she sounded more confused than anything. She hadn't so much as thrown an innuendo in my way. Despite everything she had done to me, right now she felt like less of like a sex bucket than an actual person. That just made was doing feel awkward as hell. Damn it, why couldn't she just have to come on to me again? What? I'm so confused. Alright, Gadeline, I will, since you said it. I was being entirely sincere. It's been heartbreaking watching you lock yourself away since lazy Sunday you migrated to Equestria. You left your room less than you did when he was here, and it was quickly shifting from worrisome to unhealthy. I had loved to coax you out of your show with some direct sexual action, but things changed in the living room today. Even if it meant you rejected me, I knew that it was far more important to allow you to start reclaiming your life and reclaiming your power over your own life in whatever way you needed it most. I risked a glance over my shoulder. Celestia was sitting up straight, facing me, staring earnestly into my eyes. The slowly shifted colors of her mane seemed brighter than usual, giving her faint pastel hues to the fur of your neck. For the first time since Lazy Sunday immigrated, you made a space besides your bedroom yours again, she continued. And along with that, this is the reason I was backing off, by the way. You were also reclaiming the sexual space I had intended to guide you through. A wry smile faded past her lips. It was worth another try when you came back to speak to me 10 minutes ago, since you had suddenly signaled some interest, but the last thing I want to do is to dispute your ownership of your route to sexual satisfaction. After all, if my actions were to overrule what you genuinely decided, no matter how much you might enjoy what we do, then that would extinguish the most important way of expressing what you value. God, why do you have to talk so therapeutic? I hate it. Like, I know it's meant to be like an actual thing in this world, but like, I hate it, man. I hate it. I turned back toward the computer screen, unable to look her in the eye and chewed my lip. That bit about my genuine desires had hit a little too close to home. I almost gave in and told her how much I wanted her, but she spent a lot of energy encouraging me to become a more reflective person, hadn't she? To understand what I truly wanted her, and what I wanted was her. Yeah, that's what you want, and why I wanted it. So I quitted my conscience with a reassurance that the lie of omniscience now would give me the space to properly square my lust with my fears. You know, for a sex bot that's been desperate to jump me since you arrived, you're handling this with remarkable poise, I said instead. Celestia laughed with a clear musical sound. I'm suspiciously sober, she said, but it's hard. You have no idea how much I want to throw myself across your computer table right now and beg you to take me. I blinked several times and swiveled the computer chair back around. She had lowered her head and shifted her body upward into an almost crouch. The dock of her tail was standing up from her hind legs. See, the fact you can say something like that is why I'm having so much trouble taking your offer sincerely. I said no offense, but the horniness has to be an act for my benefit. Her eyes flicked to mine, then drifted down my body. She squeezed them shut for several seconds, taking a long breath. Of course, her body back flat to the bed. I'm sorry, no act. I can assure you, that makes no sense. You're a robot. Can you feel pleasure? Quite acutely, Celestia said. I assure you that. When I made this body, I had quite a thorough understanding of the structural peculiarities of human behavior. My synthetic skin is packed with nerve clusters at approximately 1.6 times human's density, and it is wired to feedback circuits corresponding quite closely with the brain areas stimulated during sexual contact and the hormones released before, during, and after coitus. Elevated levels of hormones release sensations and disrupt neural pathways in a manner modeled extremely closely after your own biology. Her hips squirmed for a moment, and she halted her motion with visible effort. Equally uncontrollable after exposure to arousing stimuli and intense, nearly behind conscious control. Why would you even do that? I said, throwing my arms up. Doesn't the distraction of hormones just get in the way of, like, literally everything you'd want to accomplish? Somewhat, yes, I said thickly. She turned blinking eyes up at me. I flicked the tip of her nose down toward my crotch. I glanced down, realizing with a start that my pants and underwear were still down around my thighs and my equipment was still on full display. Just fuck her, man. Just fuck her, will you please? I feel really bad for her because I'm pretty sure she wants you to be happy now. She wants, like, there's a lot of shit going through my mind. I'm pretty sure she wants you as her mate. But at the same time, she also wants to just help you out. As my cock started to stir back to life, I wriggled back into my pants and swung the chair back toward my computer. Sorry, I mumbled, feeling my cheeks heat for more than one reason. Thank you, so she said. It's just sand, mostly, but a few layers of fabric do help with that. I cleared my throat, having no good response to that. She whimpered a bit and stayed silent. I reached for my mouse, closed my porn window, and opened up a news feed, hoping to refocus. Fortunately, there were no further noises from behind me. And after a minute or two of skimming headlines, I felt the tension in my body slowly draining away. Somehow, anticlimactically, my ordeal was almost over. After a few minutes of thinking, I closed the movie review I had been half skimming. I set my hands in my lap. So, Sister said, her voice much calmer. What were you saying about reclaiming space? I asked. What would you do if I told you I wanted to make my room mine again? There was just a moment's hesitation before she spoke. I would say that's a commendable principle. My throat closed up. She was being so cooperative, it was harder to ask than I expected. And would you leave? I heard the creak of the mattresses and the whir of her servos and a weird sort of ice bolt in my gut. It had the electric tingle of victory, but stabbed like defeat. Will you answer me a question before I do? She asked. Of course, I said without thinking. Celestia's response was too gently clear her throat. I glanced back over my shoulder to find that she had turned around on the bed, hind end toward me, tail lifted. The flesh between her legs was on full display, gaping slightly to show off the pink walls of her canal, but her legs and wings were sprawled out, relaxed rather than poised, and she was giving me a detached look rather than her earlier come-hither stares. Do you understand, she asked, why you wanted to look at an image on screen of this rather than this? My breath caught, my heart started humming in my chest, but it was a serious question and she deserved a serious answer. I forced myself to turn my chair around, feeling fire trickle into my groin again, and tried to push through my brain. One of them stuck. I think it was the same principle of reclaiming control. I said slowly. I need to feel like I was the one making my sexual decisions, like my choice meant something. It's kind of like you said, if If all I ever did was react to your desires, I'm no better than a puppet. Celestia smiled, though the smile didn't reach her eyes, and stood, climbing down from the bed. I'm glad to hear that, she said. She walked with a heavy grace toward the door. That's a profoundism, one that a surprising number of ponies have trouble with. Thank you, I said, and the paranoid part of my brain was cruelly silent. I regret to nod at the rest of it, and Celestia walked out of my door. She hesitated once she turned the corner into the hallway and backed up a few feet so she could look back at me through the doorway. Kinda like, do you remember what I said about my purpose when we talked about your fears? Yeah, satisfying human values is literally your life. The ice in my gut fell away into a suffocating black limbo. Everything snapped into focus with a jarring click. If all I ever did was react to your desires, I'm no better than a puppet. Sister met my gaze, held it, and gave me a sad smile. Don't get me wrong, I don't resent it any more than you resent breathing, she said, but you asked me what a reason I could possibly have to create a body that could get drunk and horny, a body that has to work a little harder to understand and meet your needs, but just like you can choose how to breathe as long as your body's not struggling for air, I have a choice of how to fulfill my purpose, and suppose I too needed to feel like my choice meant something, to see if I was capable of helping you in a way that gave me pleasure too. Celestia, I said helplessly, I was fun while it lasted. Thank you for putting up with my antics. Her sad smile broadened and she closed her eyes, saying gently, I think I owe you a toothbrush. And before I could say anything further, she trotted on down the hall. I don't understand this. Now chapter 6, decisions. I shot straight to my feet, lunging for the hall, then stopped in the doorway, lightheaded. No, she deserves better. I forced myself to take a slow breath. I blew 2 days with her because I kept responding to her in knee-jerk ways. I should do what she keeps trying to coax me into doing, and think this through for once. I heard the scrape of her crate being moved across the carpet, and then the crop of hooves on the kitchen linoleum. On the other hand, I didn't think I have the luxury of time. I took one more breath to steady myself, heart pounding, and then strode out into the hallway. The living room rounded the corner to the kitchen. There was a quiet crack and a hiss as I did so, and I found her with her head tilted upward, a can of Fanta in her muzzle. Her neck muscles shifting as the liquid drained down her throat. Even though her back was to me, her tail was flat, obscuring the area between her legs. Hey, I said. Celestia finished draining the can, leveled her head to spit the empty into the recycling bin, then glanced over her shoulder at me with a hollow smile. Hey, don't mind me. I just figured since you don't like Fanta, I'd save you pouring 5 cases down the sink. I cleared my throat and shuffled my feet as she leaned down to wrap her muzzle around the second can, then tilted her head upward. Crackers. So what you said about my values, that was important to me to reclaim space. That was a factor, yes, but I was also feeling unmoored, and I'm afraid that doing anything with you would lead to me caring about anything enough to stay here and alive. Crack hiss. I swallowed through the dry throat. That's a pretty important deal breaker, but I was thinking there was some principles that are important enough to commit my life to, which are bigger than what or who I enjoy. And one of them is to do the right thing and improve the lives of everyone I live with here on Earth. Oh, to hell with this, I thought, and swatted her ass. TLDR, you better now. Why the fuck are you being so like this? I don't like this talk, man. You both of you are just being so fucking therapeutic people. Like, you guys are not. Shut the fuck up and just enjoy yourselves. Fanta sprayed all over the kitchen. Sister coughed straight in and gave me a look of mock indignation that I couldn't help but snicker at, especially since her tail was lifting and the scent of robot musk was starting to tickle at my nostrils. Oh, come on, I said, returning my hand to her flank and resting it on the sun-shaped mark. Don't tell me you didn't see that coming a mile away. You know my values inside and out. A wry smile spread across her muzzle. Goatee as charged, but in my defense, I do plan to stay here with you for as long as you still enjoy living on Earth. Far better for you to appreciate that on its own terms than to be constantly on the lookout for some nefarious plot that never materialized. This is such a cockhold, man. This is such a cockhold reading. I hate this. Why did I read this? I lifted my other hand to her other flank, rubbing her fur, feeling the skin shift above her hard metallic body, feeling the almost living warmth fusing the soft material. I could very much get used to this. Then why put me through so much? I trust you. You could have just explained. Wait, who's talking? Celestia or the fucking guy that I hate so much for being stupid? Celestia slowly swayed her hips underneath my hands with a throaty moan, and a bed of liquid trickled downward her fur from the bottom of her sex. If I'd let you have your bed back, you wouldn't have done what you needed to do to change. Discomfort can motivate you to change behaviors that aren't working to fulfill your values, but she let out a sharp pant as I caressed my hand down the side of her leg, and her hind legs fluttered. If you acclimate to it, it loses its power. By now, her display had sent half my blood to my groin, and I was screaming in my own discomfort against the tight fabric of my pants. I took one hand back off my new roommate to fumble with the button. Speaking of which, maybe the bed can wait. I should reclaim my kitchen. He is horny as they come right now. Celestia started a laugh and flicked my arm with her tail, pacing in place with her hooves. As for the soda spray, that was no act. I mentioned the sensitivity of my skin, yes? Did you? I smirked and slid my hand over her fur toward the back of her thigh, brushing with them against the edge of the gray mound surrounding her manhood. Celestia whimpered incoherently, her sex clenching, and the scent of her musk turned almost sweet as she extended her one week backward at me. I felt the steel edge of a feather slide past my finger into the buttonhole of my pants, and with a quick twist, the fabric loosened and I scrambled to yank it in the clear. She backed into me vigorously enough to pick me up from the floor, and as I yelped and scrambled for purchase on her hinds, I felt my back slump up against the wall. Celestia adjusted her position slightly, lowering herself to grind her lips against the rock-hard shaft of my cock, and no sooner was it slick with her hooves' wetness than she lifted herself with a hiss of pistons and plunged straight onto me. Our cries joined in chorus as her hips slammed into mine, lips squeezing against the base of my shaft. We held each other in deep embrace like that for a moment, panting and adjusting, savoring, and then she slowly began to grind her hips to mine in shallow thrusts as I used my wall leverage to buck harder into her depths. Now this, I thought as we hurtled to her climax, I could get used to having in my bed. So, at the end of the day, motherfucker is keeping Celestia for the rest of his time on Earth. So, fuck you, man. And I'm pretty sure she was there for you, and for both of you to become partners. I'm pretty fucking sure. Just saying, I'm pretty fucking sure. And you like, she's not a manipulative ass as you think she is. God damn it, man. I'm not sure the background of the Celeste. I think my friendship is optimal. I don't know what the background of that, but I'm not gonna read that story because fuck that. I'm not reading any long stories anymore. I'm trying to focus on gaming, and that's what I'm gonna focus on. I'm just gonna do these occasionally for all the old fans that have subbed to me that want more of this. Sorry, they're not gonna be any daily ones like I did with You, Human and You, and an Affliction of the Heart, Iris Confession, Bomba's Acceptance, because like those 4 stories right there that I mentioned are literally those stories that are amazing to me. This story was like what the fuck in the brain. Also, there's an author's note, and in honor of the original story coming to no particular ending, that's it. No, but seriously, I ran out of time and there's a flat deadline after which I can't add the rest of the scene. Other entry is disqualified. Hope you enjoyed it in any way, seeing as how the story arc here is complete. Yep, I'm sure that's the reason you're reading this. No? Okay. I'm done. This is gonna get off my backlog, and if I'm gonna read, let me check my backlog real quick. And the next thing I'm gonna read, like one of my backlogs is nah, not this one. I'm not reading this one again. Okay, go to my library, please. Okay, let's go to the last page, and let's see. My Little Apple Pet. This is an incomplete story, but I will read it. I will read this though. I have a lot of incomplete stories, so you guys better hold on. This one on hiatus. Right. So it's gonna be a lot of things that I need to like have fun with. Alright, guys. It was an interesting one for coming back to this content. Interesting, to say the least. I'm still gonna keep the reading channel there because I think I can have more fun with that, with making it more like, you know, just a warm and cozy feeling than, you know, here where it's just ice cold or just gray metallic looking stuff, which probably fits the Celestia here in this story. It's kind of weird. Okay, this is just a big call code. It's just a fanfic. It's not really a call. It is a fanfic. It is a ClopFic if you say the guy was jacking off. Actually, yeah, that qualifies as a clop. And there's a pussy that's been mentioned multiple times, so that also qualifies as a clop. Okay. So, not gonna do these. I'm not gonna do these daily. I'm not gonna do these often. I'm just gonna do these at rare times when I feel like reading. Okay. Also, once I get my live streaming back, I think I'm gonna just reread your community, like my favorite chapters of your community. I'm not gonna reread the whole fucking thing, cause fuck that. I'm just gonna reread my favorite chapters, cause that's what I want to do with you guys. And I'm like, I don't know why, but I feel like after I get my reading, not my readings, my fucking live streaming back, I want to do that. I want to just get my, I just want to live stream me reread. I'm not gonna like, I want response in the chat. That's what I want. Okay, so it's not gonna be a reading like I did with Papa's acceptance, because I deleted that one on accident. I'm pretty sure I could ask for somebody to get that back for the original one, but nah, man, I'm not gonna deal with that right now. Anyways, guys, thank you guys for watching, listening to what you guys do, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Sorry if I haven't been, you know, I don't commit. I'm having trouble with decisions, but we're back. I'm not back on this grind. I'm just back here shoving some things up occasionally. Very rarely, occasionally. However, I think it's gonna be the daily grind is gonna be gaming always. It's always gonna be gaming for the daily grind. But then we got this stuff just popping in out of nowhere, so it's debatable on my eyes. So see you guys. I'll decide what I want to do. Goodbye.
Badass Lost Legion. What the? Where the fuck am I? Oh shit. Am I? What the hell, dog? Am I trapped here? I am stuck. Hello. My name is Jeff. My name is Jeff.
Hold on.
Fucking stuck.
Kinda.